What's up guys, Chris here again with another Blue Exorcist manga chapter review. Now I am very sorry that this review is coming to you guys like over a week late from when the chapter was released. But this time the chapter came out on a Friday and it was Holy Week for me, so I had no time to really record any videos past the previous manga reviews for 4 nights and 8 and 0 on Wednesday when I recorded. And I had family over the last couple of days, so I had not found the time to record my review for this chapter, which is why it's coming to you guys so late. It is not because I chose not to do Blue Exorcist manga chapter reviews. On the contrary, the first review actually did really well, all things considered, for a first chapter review of a series. Still going to be doing these monthly reviews, and the next one is going to come out on June, which is when the next chapter of Blue Exorcist is supposed to be released. So yeah, that's honestly everything I have to say. I'm sorry for the late upload. I'm really sorry that this new series is not on schedule due to my own personal stuff. But I promise I will do everything I can to make sure that the next couple of chapter reviews for Blue Exorcist as the months go on will in fact be on time, at least the week of the chapter being released, if not the Monday or Tuesday afterwards, due to other stuff I have planned. But with all that said and done, really quick, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for updates on future videos, because the support for these types of videos really helps me keep this coming. I'm less than 70 subscribers away from reaching the 500 sub mark, so please help me help reach that goal. I know that most of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe if you like the content I make on this channel and would like me to continue to cover these series and different topics on this channel in the future. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So, since it's been a whole month since the last chapter came out, let's do a quick recap. So, everyone has discovered about Satan's vessel being basically alive after the doctor that was working for the Illuminati managed to get very close to where the Illuminati's headquarters was, where Yukio managed to destroy it with lightning's help. And everyone tried to basically get Yukio away from the vessel so Satan would not possess it, but multiple demons led by Lucifer, as they were all essentially the strongest demons out there under Lucifer's command or allegiance, appeared and managed to stop the destruction of the vessel, as well as getting Yukio close to Satan's vessel, which prompted Yukio to actually willingly look at the vessel so Satan could in fact possess it, as part of some sort of idea he had when he realized that Satan wants to have this vessel. And the chapter ended with Satan being incarnated and basically raising all hell loose on Earth. So, with that, let's go on to chapter 130, titled Of One Cloth, Shine. And this chapter starts off not where we left off with Satan, basically lording over everyone after his incarnation, but with Shiemi in what seems like a forest area, where she realizes and senses what is going on outside of where she is right now. A voice tells her that Satan has taken physical form and that she has to hurry. She says that she's barely done anything or gotten any stronger, but is told to calm down because 1 week in this location is around 10 minutes outside, and that her final challenge will now be introduced. So, Shiemi is basically doing a hyperbolic time chamber type training arc, like outside the main story, as Rin and everyone was basically fighting the Illuminati in the last couple of hours. So this is honestly insane. So Shiemi was probably in there for about a couple of months, or maybe even a year at this point, in that weird space that she's in. And if you look closely, I do think she has aged up a bit. Her hair's longer, and it makes a lot of sense. And since she was basically taken in by one of the Grigori, the heads of the Exorcist Council, I do see her having to grow stronger due to everything that's going on. We see where she is, in that the place where she is this little realm created by a crystallized tree of the demon king, or one of the demon kings, called Shamihaza. And and we actually get a bit of a lore dump about how this tree came to be. So apparently long ago, the land was made barren and inhospitable by the king of Earth, otherwise known as a Maimon from his current name. And Shemihaza sacrificed her flesh and crystallized, and as a sort of trade from what I can tell. And then we look over and see that there is a little crystal by the edge of the tree, and that is actually the sealed crystallization of a Maimon, the king of Earth. And Shiemi realizes that how could that actually happen, considering that they fought a Maimon before and he is currently walking about right now. But she's told that's only a part of a Maimon. It's not his full being. And Shemihaza took pity on the king of Earth and left him his identity, his self, in exchange for becoming her servant. So that's honestly pretty cool. So as she begins to rationalize this, a Maimon basically slams down behind her on the bridge and is told that for her final challenge, she has to subjugate, essentially defeat, the king of Earth. She isn't shocking. This is Shiemi. She does have like a little bit of lack of confidence, but has grown way more confident and stronger in comparison as well. And is told that she has the abilities, but lacks confidence, and that she will have to gain it if she overcomes this challenge. As the figure begins to disappear, saying, "Farewell, I can guide you no further," as this is actually Shiemi's grandmother who passed away all those years ago, that passed away well over a year ago, and is now basically her guardian spirit, and has been helping her train over this undefined amount of time since she saw Rin and this everything that was going on with the climax of the recent arc involving Yukio and the Illuminati. So Shiemi has a tearful goodbye with her grandmother one last time, thanking her, and Maimon says that he knew it, that she was the successor, and he couldn't really tell for sure due to how Shiemi has been throughout the series with her lack of confidence and being easily flustered. And he does say that she is basically meager. She has no real self-confidence. Shiemi knows that she can lose, and that she literally says to a Maimon with full-on confidence, "You should be scared of me." As a Maimon says tough talk, he prepares for battle and begins to lunge at Shiemi. As she says this time, she's going to help everyone. As we flash back to the battle where the Illuminati headquarters had crash landed and Satan is currently unleashing hell on Earth. We see everybody fighting all these different demons and creatures that are appearing. We see a brief conversation of Lucifer involving the elixir and saying to give it to the commander, which I believe he was the commander, but I guess he wants to give an extra dose to Lucifer. Satan, I believe. It's not very clear. It could be a translation error from what I can tell, or it could be someone else talking and not Lucifer himself. But anyway, the scientist is literally giddy with tears in his eyes, saying it's finally happened. As we now see the previous two demon rulers basically lording over in a giant golem, saying that Astaroth is just overjoyed with what's going on, and that is just a beautiful sight, and you get to see all this chaos going on around. And I have to say, the artwork has really evolved from the beginning of the series, and I am really, really enjoying everything that I am seeing at this moment. And we end up seeing Satan's face. He is ecstatic. Is that now he's going to whittle down the humans and start by killing all the exorcists in the area. As he begins to launch some sort of enormous attack, and all the exorcists try to put up a defensive barrier, but it's not strong enough, and they don't have enough auras to keep this powerful attack at bay. As the gang are wondering what happened to Rin and Yukio, they realize they're in danger too, and that Satan says that they can try and resist, but how will they fare against his next attack? As the clouds above begin to swirl, and it appears that one giant attack is about to land straight on the Exorcist forces. However, right before it hits, it is seemingly canceled out and protecting it, and everyone was protected, as this lightning attack was seemingly stopped in mid-air. It is then when everything begins to warp around and Mephisto makes his grand entrance to the battlefield. As everyone is literally excited that Mephisto himself has finally showed up and that they're saved. And it appears that Yukio, Rin, and Lightning were also saved by Felis. So I like how it basically says that they have 5 minutes to regroup. And everyone just starts running right into the area to surround Felis. Everyone's worried about Yukio's cut eye, but he didn't lose his eye, thank goodness he didn't lose his eye. He was just cut by his glasses. But anyway, Yukio literally says that it's his fault that Satan returned. He chose to open his eyes as he apologizes. But he says he doesn't regret it, stating that as long as Satan was in Gehenna, they were basically fighting a defensive battle for years on end with seemingly no real conclusion to this all-out war. But if they can defeat him here in Ossia, so now it's their chance to take him down. As long as demons threaten them, they have no other choice. With Rin looking on in basically disbelief with Yukio's full-on determination. Lightning grabs Yukio and says that he's right, and that he's a teacher, and so it's no wonder that he's smart. So now it's time to get the party started, as Felis declares that defeating Satan will warp the world, so he was basically trying to avoid this fight altogether, but it's just something that has to happen now. He's initiating Plan B, as a bunch of seemingly refrigerators are popping up with exorcists coming out. He's gathered exorcists and volunteer demons from across the globe to form the anti-Satan suppression force. So it does seem that he did have a contingency plan for if Satan was actually reincarnated. So he basically says that these are all just loners, they come from well-known families or outcasts in other organizations, and it's literally just a total mishmash. But they're a bunch of different people and demons, but there's also famous exorcists among them. And we see that the King of Insects, one of the high-ranking demons, is actually with Sir Felis' forces, as well as Shiemi herself, which could this mean that in the small span of the last couple of minutes from when Shiemi was in her training against the Maimon, did she manage to defeat them and manage to come onto the battlefield as Sir Felis is here, or is this just a placeholder until Shiemi makes a grand hero entrance? Which I'm all for, honestly. As everyone's warning that the Grigori Guard are going to fight, and one of the Grigori is going to fight. I like how Izumo also brings this up because, Shiemi was supposed to be a replacement for one of the Grigori, essentially. And I think that since Izumo is bringing this up, she might have the same idea that I have, that Shiemi might actually be there or is possibly coming. But Lightning says one more thing since he basically says that this is a relief that they have all these allies. He says to Yukio that the adults are to blame for Satan's return. So it's definitely not Yukio's fault. As he literally, after a quick light laugh, says okay, that he was taking everything upon himself just like a child. And while he begins to say that it's so embarrassing, Rin pipes up and says that finally something even I can understand. And as he clenches his fist, saying it's time to kick Satan's ass. As he says right to Yukio, as they look at each other, shake hands, and are ready to kick their ass. With Mephisto looking on at what's going on, as the entire group literally surrounds Rin and Yukio, being like they want in on this, and that they're a team, they're gonna do this together. As I like this little goofy moment between the main cast, because it really shows how much they've grown as a team. And then Mephisto says that they're all going to kick Satan's ass together, as we get this nice large 2-page spread of Mephisto basically leading the charge with all the exorcists to take down Satan. As the chapter ends. Now honestly, this was another good chapter. It sets up a good portion of what the rest of this arc could be seen as. From what I know, this is not supposed to be the final arc of Blue Exorcist. There is no real announcement about it from what I can tell. So this could probably end in like maybe a stalemate, because I know Rin doesn't have full control over his powers yet, and Shiemi is still training. So there's no real idea of how this is going to end up, but I think they're probably going to be able to deal a good chunk of damage to Satan's forces and maybe even stop the spread of basically hell on earth. But overall, this is another great chapter of Blue Exorcist. I look forward to covering this monthly and maybe make some Blue Exorcist videos in the future. If this video does well, I will promise you I will make different Blue Exorcist content aside from the monthly manga reviews as I keep talking about the series. But yeah, what do you guys think of this chapter of Blue Exorcist? What do you think of Shiemi's Dragon Ball style training arc that is going on right now? You think she's going to do anything really amazing that will turn the tide in this battle? Or do you think this arc could actually end in like a stalemate or with the villains winning in a pretty, darkest hour moment for the heroes? I do see that happening because I don't think, at least as far as I know, feel free to let me know in the comments, because there was no announcement that this was the final arc of Blue Exorcist, so I have no idea how this could play out. But yeah, feel free to let me know what you thought of this chapter, whether it was good, bad, the pacing, what was off, or if it was pretty good pacing. I personally would like to see more of Shiemi's training, and we probably will see more of Shiemi's training. And it was a nice change of pace to see what was going on with Shiemi, because after like Rin was going through the whole seeing the past of Fujimoto and his mother to his birth, and then it's like with Yukio, we only got to see Shiemi like a few times. And I'm glad we got to see her again, because she is basically one of the main characters and is like the main female lead of the series. So it is nice to see her, and if she gets a massive power boost, I will honestly really be happy. But yeah, with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.